UFOs are real, burgeoning, and not going away. This is a weekly update. I'm going to roll the clip first. I want you to look at it. This was sent to me by a good friend, Gordy Tong, who was our producer up in Vancouver for the first UFO special that we did. It's number 1. If you open up the text box right below this video, you can watch episode 1 and episode 2. You can also see the trailer at the very end of this show for episode 3, which should be pretty much available in about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. It's been handed off to Doug Diamond at Doug Audio, and he's balancing all the sound. And I've got a few more things to do on the timeline, minor things, and then it goes up to the duplicator. So we will be doing a pre-sale on that. So we'll get into the clip and so much more after a word from our sponsor, Noble Gold. Central banks are increasing their gold reserves due to increasing global financial crisis concerns. Billionaires like Ray Dalio to giant fund management companies like Goldman Sachs are turning to physical assets like gold. That's not surprising. Historically, gold's biggest rally happened after the largest recessions in history. In fact, after the 2000-2009 recession, gold prices jumped 50.5%. Think about what that means. Wealth of entire countries are being protected by gold. Wealth of billionaires are being protected by gold. Many people are using gold to keep their billions safe. And Noble Gold Investments can help you protect your own wealth too with gold. It will take you no more than 5 minutes to set up an account. Noble Gold specializes in storing the value of your wealth through gold IRAs, so they're the natural choice. And they're giving away a beautiful 1/10 of an ounce gold American Eagle coin with every qualifying IRA or 401k this month. Folks, do something different. You can't go wrong with Noble Gold. Call the team now at 877-646-5347. Once again, that's 877-646-5347. Or to find out more, please visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. So once again, I'm going to roll the clip. Gordy Tong sent this to me. It was taken several years ago at a UFO conference, and it's very interesting what the gentleman speaking says, and I will weigh in on this on the other side. Here's the clip.
Health and stuff like this. She told me the story. A lot of experiencers will tell this story. She said, I've been told that I'm going to be taken, that there's an event happening, and I'm going to be taken, and my husband's going to stay, and my children are going to stay. And I said, this is like the end of the world type stuff. And I said, well, aren't you kind of pissed off that nobody else is coming? She said, yeah, but what are you going to do? I mean, this is what I'm being told. And a lot of people are being told this sort of thing, that something's about to happen. People have a mission. They're being trained for something. They don't know what it is. They say something's going to happen, and we just are told that when the time is right, we'll know what to do. So you have this sort of thing, and then you have this connection to the stuff that's shown on the ship. And the thing that's showing on the ship is, number one is the nuclear stuff, which I've dealt, and the second one is the environment. Everybody has shown this thing with this environmental damage where the world is just contaminated. And what I say is the experiencers are the chosen people. They're the ones that are being that have the message, who we should be listening to. And one of the things that was very important, and I'll leave you with this, it's a song by Neil Young. I was contacted by an experiencer who told me the aliens are telling me that they're influencing music and putting their lyrics into music, and I didn't really believe him, and he said Neil Young is one of them. So I started to watch. Neil Young writes a song called After the Gold Rush. It is the message that they see on the screen. This is exactly the environmental message. And what the song After the Gold Rush is we're treating the world like a gold rush. And when the gold is gone, it's going to be a ghost town. And the silver seeds, the flying saucers, are going to come, and they're going to take the chosen ones, the ones that they're dealing with, they're going to take them to another planet. Now, Neil Young wrote this song in 1968. Dolly Parton asked him, why did you write the song? What does it mean? He said, I have a stone. I have no idea what I was writing. But it was written in 68, before all this environmental stuff started, and it is the message. And one of the important things is, Thom Yorke has played the song, so has Patti Smith, so has Dolly Parton, and I believe they're all experiencers. The two top ones definitely are experiencers. So you have these experiencers who are replaying this song. This song gets redone by people over and over again. So I'll leave you with the last part of the song, Neil Young's story, and that he says is a dream. He writes it in 1968, and it is the message that I think the aliens want people to know.
When I was 25, which, believe it or not, is about almost 50 years ago, we're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. Actually younger, more like 20, 21, so that is 50 years ago. And because I'll be 72 this year. Yeah, it's the years just fly by. But I digress. I was New Age, completely New Age. I was with the Guru. My third eye was open. I was meditating hours every day. I had given up all my worldly possessions, which wasn't much, by the way. And I was, off in the Guru's Brothers Orchestra. And I was writing and composing for a 56-piece orchestra, which was really amazing. That was really cool. But the rest of it was very much New Age, Eastern mysticism, third eye open, divine music, all this kind of stuff. I eventually, when I left the Guru, I wound up with spirit guides and Carlos Castaneda, Vision Quest type stuff, if you know what that is. And I did all that. And then I became a Christian when I was 30. That's 42 years ago. So here's the deal. I was told years and years and years ago when I was a New Ager, okay, that when they show up, and we're talking about the whole UFO phenomena, which is one of my mainstays, it's my wheelhouse, right? That when they show up, they would say that some people would vanish. And the excuse that the so-called extraterrestrials would give us was, well, these people really aren't ready for the ascendancy into a higher realm of consciousness. They're not ready for the golden age. So we've taken them to another planet where they can progress through different lifetimes, reincarnation, which of course I don't believe in, different lifetimes, and finally reach the point where they too can come up to this new paradigm shift. Now I heard this over 50 years ago, literally, when I was, maybe even before I was 20, okay? But definitely when I was in the ashram and completely immersed in all things New Age, that's when all this was, from 20 to 25, that's when, and I believed it, completely believed it, that this is what's going to happen. A few years ago, there was a movie called Knowing, and maybe John Adam can give us just a little clip of what that looks like. Nicolas Cage was in it. And something is going on in the film. It's really well crafted. But of course, what this is a rescue in the movie Knowing. It's that only the chosen people will be taken off the earth when the great cataclysms come. Of course, that goes completely against what the biblical narrative states. So let's back up here. In the clip I just showed you, he's talking, the gentleman speaking, in that clip is talking about a rescue from the extraterrestrials, that only some people were chosen. And we need to be around a chosen person so that when the cataclysms happen on the earth, we'll be taken. Well, that's modernity. That's just a few years ago. Knowing the same thing was promulgating that idea that there's going to be a rescue of only certain people. The rest of us will go, the hell in a handbasket type thing with all these disasters and perhaps nuclear war and everything else, but there's going to be a rescue. But then you flip it and it's completely different from what I heard, let's say 50 years ago, where the people who weren't ready for the paradigm shift in consciousness will be taken to another planet. Let's walk through it from a biblical prophetic lens, which of course is my worldview. What was written will come to pass. What was foretold is unfolding, even right now in modernity. So what we see on Fox News, almost on a weekly basis, of course, right now they're completely obsessed with the Royals, and that's fine. They can do what they want to do. That's why I don't go there. But the bottom line is, Fox News has been rolling out, specifically on Tucker Carlson, what I would call the rungs of disclosure, on the rungs of a disclosure ladder. That's the analogy I'm using here. So we're getting up there. You know, Amy Hornacek is talking about alien abductions and the breeding program. Tucker's touched on it. Bret Baier touched on it, that some women who were taken by UFOs become pregnant. So it's no longer the stuff of tinfoil hat or conspiracy theorists. It's out in the open. It's a question, what is the church doing with it? For the most part, nothing. I will be at Yuba City this weekend. I will be talking about all of this in depth. I hope to see you there. This is basically my last conference this year. My plate is just too full, and we'll be gone for over 10 days in September, or take a little time off, and then in October I fly back to Oklahoma City, and I'm on with Mondo Gonzalez, Gary Stearman, Prophecy Watchers, talking about the third film. By the way, the trailer will be shown at the end of this clip. So here's what's going on. According to the biblical narrative, that clip and what I heard 50 years ago is not what's going to happen. What is going to happen, what was written, is that, first of all, we have not been appointed to wrath. So you can argue that all day long. We can look at Noah as a type of rapture. We can look at Lot as a type of rapture. And I realize some of you are hunkered down and can't wait to go through the tribulation. That's fine, if that's what you want to believe. I'm not going to argue it. I have a completely different perspective, a completely different position, which I think is the correct biblical one. And I say that with all humility, but I think it's correct. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all die. Some of us will be changed at the last trump, and up we go. So we're not appointed to wrath. We know that. And the tribulation is God's wrath on the planet. When the Lamb opens that scroll, it is, in my opinion, an indictment against planet Earth. Why? Just look around. So it's interesting how the so-called extraterrestrial ET agenda is talking about the chosen ones who will take the chosen people off the planet. But then, no. I've heard something else completely different. Remember, that's 50 years ago, that the people who aren't ready for the big global paradigm shift in consciousness will be taken to another world where they can evolve more spiritually. Of course, they're talking about people like you and me. So what I think is going on here is something. We are ramping up. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We are drawing close to some sort of a tipping point. The fact that it's being rolled out, and what amazes me, what sort of, what's the words I'm looking for? Not depresses me. In some, that's too strong of a word. But what causes me consternation is the fact that most churches won't even talk about the subject, and yet it's being rolled out on mainstream media. Everywhere it's being rolled out. When they show up, everything completely changes. Life as we know it completely changes. The biblical prophetic narrative, in my opinion, states this, that we go up and then they show up. We go up, they come down. Many of us are looking very expectantly to this September. We're in it right now. Does that mean I'm setting a date? No, I'm not. But I look at the political climate, I look at the global climate all around me, and all the signs are there. Are we in the tribulation? In my opinion, no, we're not. Not even close. But the birth pangs are certainly here. Wars and rumors of wars, famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places, troublesome times to the nines, right? Know this, in the last days, perilous times will come. And I think we're here. I think we are in the last of the last days. I'm not a rapture date setter, and I'm certainly not going to do that now, but I am expecting. I'm kind of looking around, kind of going, you can't fix this anymore. We go up, they show up. We go up, they come down. Something is holding them back. There's no doubt about that. They just don't pop out and go, hi, we're here. Why the cloaking? Why the secrecy? Why the decades and decades and decades of this hidden breeding program? Read Dr. David Jacobs' book, Walking Amongst Us. He doesn't believe in what I believe. He has no supernatural worldview like I do. no biblical worldview, but he looks at what's going on and he's afraid. He's very afraid because there is a breeding program that's happening, which ties right into the book of Daniel. Their seed will mingle with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave to them. Whose seed are we talking about here? Goes back to Genesis 3:15. So I find it really interesting that they're talking about the chosen ones, and some of these people will be taken out before the cataclysms happen, before the the upheaval happens on planet Earth. But that's not what the Bible says. It says exactly the opposite. Those who are, remember what Jesus says, when you see all these things, what things? Wars, rumors of wars, famines, pestilence, earthquakes in diverse places, troublesome times. Stand up, look up, because your redemption is drawing nigh. Stand up, look up. What are you looking up for? You're looking up for your redemption. What is that? In my opinion, it's the rapture. You may argue. Please don't write me an email. I'm not going to argue with you. Believe what you want to believe. You have the right to do that. I have the right to believe what I believe. But I certainly do hold tenaciously onto the pre-tribulation rapture position, and I think we are going to go up at some point. When? This year? Yeah, maybe. If not, no worries. Hands on the plow, isn't it? Which is why I'm doing this show every single 5 days a week, sometimes 6 or 7 days a week, which is why number 3 in our UFO film is going to be out, followed by number 4, which is on the abduction phenomenon. Folks, my hand is on the plow. I'm not escaping into anything, which is why I'm here on a daily basis. But I'm looking at what's going on, and I weigh it against the biblical prophetic narrative. And you know what? I think we're in a window of time where things could change and change rapidly. If we are looking at the time where the dragon manifests, and I believe we are, then we're seeing everything that sets him up. Everything. It's all here. It's all firing on 12 cylinders, if that's possible. Anyway, folks, I will be at Yuba City. Check that out. Here's the trailer for episode number 3. We will be doing a pre-sale on that. If you want all 3 DVDs, we're going to package them together. You'll be able to buy all 3 at a great price. Anyway, here's the trailer. Hope to see you in Yuba City. Thanks so much for watching.
They got their knowledge from the heavens.
He saw it, said, whoa, that's a UFO.
This orb comes up and it's bright orange.
I'm not wanting to make full eye contact with these things. But from what I did see, when I did look at them, they're like they're soulless.
It was right directly above us right here, and then it started tilting and moving up like that.
All of a sudden I was being lifted about 3 feet off the ground.
It was going slow. I was walking right underneath it.